Ladies and gentlemen, in a recent podcast, we've been talking about the struggle of the Acadian Métis to be fully recognized within New Brunswick and various other sectors of Canada. But this guy, he paved the way for his Ojibwe Métis generation as being one of the most popular and the most talented hockey players of his era. Now, it took him a few years to make it to the NHL. He was an overage rookie. I think he was 27 or 28 when he became an original St. Louis Blue. But Frank St. Marseille, tremendous skater, good on defense, good on offense, an all-around player, and he came up in major media in recent years where it was announced that he would be sharing a Hall of Fame with the great Ron Duguay. We'll get into that in a second. Now, Joseph Francis Leo Frank St. Marseille, born December 14, 1939, played right wing, and did he play right wing, ladies and gentlemen, for the Blues and the LA Kings from 67 to 77. Again, St. Marseille is of Ojibwe Métis descent, but also French-Canadian, and there's Finnish blood in his family as well. He is from Levack, which is situated in a Sudbury regional municipality in Ontario. Now, after not being drafted because he was considered too slow for the big leagues, now St. Marseille played the early stage of his career, starting with the Chatham Maroons. During the fall of '62, he tried it with the Chatham Maroons of the Senior Ontario Hockey Association and made the squad, notching 39 points. The Maroons then moved to the International Hockey League, and St. Marseille moved to the team squad as well. He compiled a respectable 64 points in 70 games during the '64 campaign, and the next season, Chatham dropped out of the league, and St. Marseille was picked up by the Port Huron Flags in the IHL. St. Marseille had 3 impressive seasons with Port Huron between '64 and '67, including winning an International Hockey League playoff title known as the Turner Cup. In '66, he took that title with his fellow squad mates. He scored 97, 90, and 118 points for a total of 305 in only 210 games. Now, a lot of people were developing talent for the expansion, and St. Marseille was high on the list. Under the rules at the time, St. Marseille did not have to be drafted. At this point, he had worked his way through the minors, and he was coming off a '67 season with Port Huron, when he was named to the league's second All-Star squad, and had been signed again by the Blues. Didn't have to go back in the draft. The '67 NHL expansion opened up a whole new world of opportunities for him, many of whom likely would have had taken far different career paths if the league had remained a close original six entity a year before. Now, St. Marseille began playing for a minor league squad, the Kansas City Blues, which was mainly as an affiliate for the NHL Blues. However, only 11 games in with the team, St. Marseille, who was big in the good books of Scotty Bowman, called up him and his line mates Gary Sabrin and Terry Crisp, and the rest is history. Bowman was quoted as saying at the time, "They were better than our third line in St. Louis," referring to Frank, Gary, and Terry. Known as a defensive-minded forward, St. Marseille often played on checking lines that were assigned to play against the opponent's top-scoring line. Despite this, he still averaged 16 points per season during a 5-game stretch with St. Louis that saw the Blues reach 3 straight Stanley Cup final, losing twice to Montreal and once to the Bruins. Now, he would obviously been a big contender for the Selke, but it wasn't around the time. Now, he made the 1970 West Division All-Star team, playing with great hockey legends such as Bobby Clarke and line-mate and squad mate Jacques Plante, who was the first NHL goalie to wear officially a goalie mask. Now, from 70 to 72, St. Marseille captained St. Louis. He also played on both the penalty killing and power play units for the Blues, had a plus-minus of plus 37 during that 5-year period, and tied for 6 on the all-time game-time goals list for the Blues. In 62 playoff contests with St. Louis, St. Marseille tallied 19 goals and 24 assists. But this is where the shot came in, ladies and gentlemen. Midway through the '73 season, St. Marseille, in a very controversial deal, was traded to the Kings for Paul Curtis on January 27, '73, and played the final 4.5 years of his career with the Kings in the NHL. Saint Marseille continued his defensive forward and penalty killing roles with LA, but no longer played on the power play. He scored 54 goals in his tenure with the Kings, and the club made the playoffs in each of his final 4 seasons with them. His best performance in LA was a 53-point performance in '75. A career high came with St. Louis in 1970 with 59. Now, he finished his hockey career in '78 when he played 1 season in the AHL for the Nova Scotia Voyageurs before retiring as a player to become the Voyageurs coach. He also spent 1 year as an assistant coach with the LA Kings. His NHL totals in 10 NHL seasons were very, very consistent. 707 games, 140 goals, 285 assists for 425 points. Now, because he grew up in the mining town of Levac, Ontario, his hard work efforts were very, very known, but he had a very spiritual side to his life. His father, Stéphane, was a violinist, and his grandfather, Alain, was a baritone, and his aunt also sang. Frank's older brother, Frédéric Stéphane Saint Marseille, died at the age of 73 from congestive heart failure, but until his passing, he performed all over the world with major opera companies. Now, while Saint Marseille would become a pro hockey player, he left the game when he decided to move back to Canada to help his sons Rob and Chris develop as hockey players. Now, Rob was eventually drafted in '82 by Kingston of the OHL. He also played at Lake Superior State University. Now, currently, he's very active with the Sudbury detachment of the OPP. Now, Chris played junior hockey for the Rayside Balfour Canadians of the NOJHL and tried out for the North Bay Centennials. Now, Chris has 2 sons, Ben and Alex, who both played junior hockey. Now, Frank's grandson, Joseph Ranger, plays in goal for the Mississauga Steelheads of the OHL. Now, in 1988, the Hall of Fame was established in Valley East, and Saint Marseille and Ron Duguay were the first athletic members to be inducted. Frank's career has been celebrated with a major Pee Wee championship being named after him in the Nickel District Minor Hockey League. Now, again, Levac Huskies in '61 and '62, New Haven Blades in '62 as well of the EHL, played with the Sudbury Wolves for 3 games in '63, then with the Chatham Maroons '63 and '64, Port Huron Flags over 3 seasons, best campaign 67, 41 goals, 118 points, Kansas City Blues 15 points, 11 games, his rookie campaign 32 points in 57 games, and 5 big playoff goals. Then seasons with St. Louis of 12, 16, 19, and 76, 16 goals. The split season, St. Louis and LA, 14 goals in '73. Then when LA for the next number of seasons, 14, 17, and 10. 77, he only had 6 goals, but also spent time with the Fort Worth Texans of the CHL with 18 points in 16 games. Now, 77 was his last, of course, playoff year. Now, with the Voyageurs in '78, 14 goals, 14 assists for 28 points. Now, he was an assistant coach in Fort Worth in '77, and again, the head coach with Nova Scotia in '78, 37, 28, and 16. Head coach in Nova Scotia again in '79, 39, 37, and 4. In 1980, he was an assistant coach with LA. Now, a dynamite player, a dynamite individual, but like I said, the spiritual side. He came from a family of musicians and became a pro hockey player. And this is not a cliche, ladies and gentlemen. He had a lyrical quality on the ice. To describe Frank Saint Marseille, he was your typical francophone defensive player, if that's such a thing, but he would always be thinking, just like Wayne Gretzky does. Frank Saint Marseille had really no goal scorers to play with. He's playing mostly defensive. So LA would play Montreal a lot, St. Louis would play Montreal a lot, all the big teams. So he was giving up his offensive style to play mostly defense. Now, Saint Marseille had the skills to score 30 goals a year, but with Bowman and the other coaches, and especially in LA, he was asked for a certain role. If he could stop Lafleur and Clark and all the key players, Bobby Orr, Park, Esposito, the Kings games against what I call the eastern side, he was doing his job. But Frank Saint Marseille, I remember one of the first hockey cards I ever got was a handsome man, Frank St. Marseille, and it was in the old St. Louis jersey. Not the beautiful potted blue of the original year, but the nice kind of super glossy of the 72, 73, and 74 seasons. Ladies and gentlemen, Frank St. Marseille, one of the most underrated players you'll ever hear of. And if you're hearing of it the first time, don't be surprised if you talk to fans of the Kings of St. Louis at a certain age and say, never heard of Frank St. Marseille? Well, this guy had it all, ladies and gentlemen. He had personality, he had spirit, and he was, like I said, a very, very strong teammate and dedicated to what I call the francophone style of the NHL, which is firework hockey, if asked, and then defensive style, if asked. Sort of like Bob Gainey, Jacques Laperriere, Dougie Jarvis, Roberts. It's a certain style. If you stop the other team, if you can score 2 goals on your line, the line you're checking again scores 1, you're doing your job, and that's what Frank St. Marseille is. And one of the most important Indigenous hockey players very few people talk about, and we should talk about it more often. Thanks for listening. Have a great day. And don't forget, if you like what we're doing here, give us a like, comment, and subscribe. Requests are always, always appreciated and always considered. Thanks for listening. Bye.